A desert moves, pipes cut sand, stations push pressure. Israel doesn't wait for rain, it manufactures water. Desalination feeds the south. Recycling closes the loop. Infrastructure turns 122 degrees Fahrenheit terrain into a managed system. This is how Israel forces the Negev to work, not by changing the climate, but by engineering the inputs. Water defines the script, because water defines the geography. Israel is small, about 8,100 square miles. The Negev alone is 5,000 of them. More than half the country is a zone of dunes, rock, and temperatures swinging from 77 degrees Fahrenheit to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Rainfall? 2 inches, sometimes less. The Sahara gets more. Terrain? Dunes up to 100 feet. Rocky plateaus, craters, sparse brush, short trees where they can survive, and this is where Israel had to build. David Ben-Gurion said the Negev needed to be developed. He never saw the transformation. But the transformation came mechanically, systematically, and with water as the first weapon. The National Water Carrier launched in 1964. Its job, push water from the Sea of Galilee to the center and south. 80 miles of pipes, channels, tunnels, reservoirs, pumping stations moving 449 million gallons daily. It doesn't look like it reaches the Negev at first, but the branches do. They hit Beersheba, a desert city with more than 200,000 residents. Proof that the system works. Proof that deserts can be populated if you route enough pressure through them. Then the Sea of Galilee dropped. Drought hit. So the country pivoted, not slowly, but decisively, to desalination. Plants along the Mediterranean start at capacities of 23 billion gallons and climb to 39 billion gallons at Sorak. Each one connects to the national grid through $250 million of infrastructure. Seawater moves inland, the Galilee refills, and the Negev drinks from the coast. Efficiency helps the math. Losses in the national system, 3%. The UK loses 20%, Bulgaria 50%, Romania 70%. Every gallon here counts, and every gallon pulled from the sea reduces the pressure on everything inland. The desalination grid also demands constant coordination. Every plant feeds a different segment of the national spine, and even brief interruptions. Mechanical faults, power fluctuations, coastal storms ripple inland within hours. Technicians track pressure levels in real time, adjusting flows so cities and farms never feel the strain. Pipelines run under highways, industrial zones, and open desert, each section reinforced against heat, shifting sand, and corrosion. It's an invisible choreography. Seawater on the coast, freshwater deep inland, and a network that has to work flawlessly every single day. Without it, the entire southern system stumbles. The Negev also pulls from the mountain aquifer. Safe yield, 95 billion gallons a year. Actual pumping in 2023, 158 billion. Twice the safe level. Risky for any climate, especially this one. Saltwater sits below the freshwater layer. If the balance breaks, contamination comes fast. So desalination becomes the long-term anchor, not a luxury, a necessity. The last water source is reused water, a sector Israel invested $750 million into. 67 plants, 10 major ones recycling over 56% of national wastewater. Overall reuse rate, 87%. The U.S., under 10%. Same challenge, different strategy. The largest plant, Shafdan near Tel Aviv, treats about 97 million gallons a day. Some of that flows into the Negev. It irrigates 60% of the region's greenery, and that greenery didn't exist before. Desalinated water, groundwater, and recycled water built a forest. Yes, a forest. The Yatier forest. 11 square miles, 4 million trees, the biggest planted forest in Israel. 90% Aleppo pine. It wasn't planted for beauty, it was planted to stop the desert. A wall of trees holding back sand. 60 years later, it's still doing the job. It absorbs carbon at levels similar to wetter forests. It shades the ground, slowing evaporation. It anchors the soil. It also doubles as a research zone. NASA's FluxNet monitors CO2, vapor, and energy exchanges here. The Arava Institute studies date palms and grapes nearby, crops designed for harsh, salty regions. But the forest has problems. 5 to 10% dried out during recent extreme droughts. Recovery is slow. Grazing animals eat the young saplings, and the ecology isn't natural. This was shrubland, not woodland. Local species rely on open terrain, not pine density. machinery, and herbicides used in planting damaged, fragile soils. Progress comes with trade-offs, but in the Negev, doing nothing costs more. Agriculture is the other trade. Israel produces 3,430 gallons of milk per cow. North America averages 2,640. Europe, 1,580. Tomatoes, 300 tons per 2.4 acres. Global average, 50. Citrus, 262 tons per 2.4 acres. North America hits 243. Europe hits 21. In the Negev, farmers grow sunflowers, wheat, melons, chickpeas, pomegranates, almonds, olives, and cotton. Cotton, one of the most water-hungry crops on Earth. Yields from Stee Boker. 3.5 tons of sunflowers, 7 tons of wheat, 6.5 tons of cotton per 2.4 acres. Better than they look. Fruit production value puts Israel first globally despite tiny land area. Countries behind it, Pakistan, Portugal, New Zealand, all much larger. And yet over 40% of Israel's agriculture comes from the Negev, from a region receiving barely any rain. How? Water delivery, desalination, groundwater, recycled wastewater, and the most important innovation, drip irrigation. It began spreading in the 1950s, pioneered by Megaproject's founders. The method is simple. Deliver small portions of water directly to plant roots through drip emitters. Benefits: reduced water use, less erosion, fewer weeds. Downside: higher cost. In this environment, cost loses the argument. Water efficiency wins. The system expands further through fish farming. 50 to 100 feet below certain Negev zones lies geothermal water at around 104 degrees Fahrenheit with low salt. Ancient rainwater trapped underground. A perfect environment for species like tilapia, bream, barramundi, catfish, guppies, clownfish. Fish feed the water feeds the plants clean the water. A closed-loop ecosystem. A commercial farm produces 2,000 tons of barramundi a year on an 86-acre site. Water at 98 degrees Fahrenheit moves through systems, grows fish, then irrigates nearby olive groves. Nothing is wasted. Ben-Gurion predicted the South would help the North through desalination and renewable energy. He wasn't wrong. Energy comes next. The Negev is sunlight and unused land, perfect for solar projects. The Ashalim complex, south of Be'er Sheva, combines 3 technologies. First, a 121 megawatt parabolic trough system. Reflectors concentrate sunlight onto a heat transfer pipe. Thermal energy stores up to 4.5 hours. Second, 50,600 heliostats focusing light on a tower. Automatic tracking. Output: 320 gigawatt hours per year. The tower stands 853 feet tall. Formerly the tallest solar tower on Earth. Locals don't care about the record. They care that it powers 120,000 homes and supplies energy for agriculture. Third, a photovoltaic field with 30 megawatts of capacity. Small, but steady. Together, they push the Negev into a new category. Not just an agricultural zone, a renewable one. Ben-Gurion said the Negev would test Israel's creativity. The test is ongoing. The results are clear. For decades, every improvement in the Negev came one layer at a time. A pump station here, a canal extension there. A new regulation, a new pipeline, a new test site. Nothing happened overnight, and nothing stayed stable for long. Heat waves, drought cycles, and budget limits forced constant redesign. But the accumulation never stopped. And by stacking solutions year after year, Israel built momentum. Infrastructure that didn't just survive the desert, but gradually bent it. The transformation wasn't a miracle. It was a decade-by-decade refusal to let geography dictate outcomes. A desert that once resisted everything now yields to infrastructure. Pipes, pumps, forests, crops, solar grids, closed-loop systems, ecosystems redesigned through engineering, not by changing the climate, by changing the inputs. And the Negev, half a country of sand, becomes a case study in how survival becomes strategy and how strategy becomes a system that doesn't wait for nature to cooperate. Israel built the outcome anyway, because in a desert, engineering isn't a choice. It's survival.